What I don't think a lot of people understand is that it takes 3 years to start to build momentum. But once you have momentum in your business, it is unfucking believable that people in your company are coming up with ideas for their own. You're starting to have a ton of innovation. There's so many things that you can do. You can move much quicker. I get to focus on higher leverage tasks. You can hire people to solve your problems. And what was weird is I was very much aware of this when I was 17, 18 years old, looking to start a business and find a mentor. And then eventually, once I apprenticed myself and found a mentor, I knew that it was going to take 3 to 5 years to build something great. I thought that I would be making a lot more money by now that I'm 22. But the exponential growth is unbelievable. It takes so much time to get from, let's say, $0 to $10,000 per month, and so much time to get to the next leap. But then once you have systems and processes and people in place, and you've set up the infrastructure and the foundation for scale, you can almost just go fucking like parabolic rise. Like you can go from a lot of money to an extreme amount of money very, very quickly without much friction. Whereas when you go from $0 to $10,000 per month, you have so much friction because you don't know anything. You don't know what you don't know. You don't realize the systems that it takes to run a business. You don't realize the legal issues. You don't have any money to hire people. So any problem that you have to figure out. You don't have any connections. So you can't get customers, and you don't have leads because you don't fucking know anyone. And then you don't actually provide that good of a gooder service because you've only been in business for a year. And so it's just very challenging and difficult. If you are watching this, it is not realistic to make a fucking, like everyone says, oh, it's going to take you 6 months to start to make a lot of money. That is not true. It is blatantly not true, and you are being lied to. If you are starting a business, expect that it is going to take you 3 years before you start to even make $10,000 per month. And if you go in it with those expectations, think about how many people in the world make $120,000 per year on their own. You are in the 0.1% of people in the world for the same amount of time that it takes to get your college degree, or actually less time. That is unbelievable. But for some reason, people think that if they don't make money with their online business in the first 6 to 8 months, then it's time to give up. And that is the exact wrong thing to do, because there is this massive phase of getting over the learning curve, fucking realizing that, holy shit, this is going to suck. And it sucks for a long period of time. But then you get over that curve, and then you got to learn all the other steps. It takes a lot of fucking time. And now I don't even know how many years I've been doing this, but it's a lot. And we started our first business when I was 16, and now I'm 22. The amount of momentum that is had right now, though, is unbelievable. And I'll take this back to one of my mentors, Ken McElroy. He's in business for 30 years, but he didn't start until he was in his 30s. He didn't buy his first property. Now he has 10,000 properties or units for his apartment complexes. And so all it really takes is doing one thing for a long period of time. That is the commonality behind all businesses, and not being an idiot, which just means you learn from your mistakes and you don't do the same thing over and over again expecting a different outcome. If you had a realistic expectation that I'm going to learn a high income skill, and I'm going to commit to it for 3 to 5 years and not deviate from that, and I'm going to stick with that one thing, I guarantee you 3 to 5 years, you will be making way more than $10,000 per month. And you are already in the 0.1% of the entire world. But I don't know why it's so difficult for most people to do. It took me a lot longer than I was expecting to make my first 10,000. But now it's really just everything is compounding and compounding and compounding, because you unlock new revenue streams that you didn't even know were possible. Because I found a way to buy back a lot of my time by hiring people to do a lot of things, using a lot of systems to help speed through everything, I was able to have an idea that is literally 10xing my income. It's unbelievable. It is the sponsorship company. So right now I have a organic media company where we help all the large business owners and people in the finance space do all of their organic media, which is like Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, everything, and with the intent of getting them customers. But since we show such good results, we're getting a lot of fucking views online. And so that's where sponsors come in. You know, when Joe Rogan says, hey, this video is sponsored by AG1. Well, we work in the business and finance space with our clients. And so a sponsor with a financial company for a financial channel is worth way more than that. And so we are getting potentially some of the biggest deals ever. And right now there's a lot of talks. This week, a lot of progress has been made. I'm talking to a lot of companies. Nothing is signed, and I don't want to jinx anything, but it could be huge. And I cross my fingers. I do not want to jinx anything, so I don't want to talk about it until the contract is signed and the first invoice is sent. But we're moving in the right direction. And so something small like that, now that's where I'm spending a lot of my time on. Right before I record this video, I went to the pickleball courts earlier and I was fucking on my laptop working on that, which I very infrequently do, but I just want to get out in the sun with PJ and Kay. They're on a walk right now after dinner. There's my roommates. And I think for the plan for the summer is in about 2 weeks, maybe a week and a half, I'm going to leave Arizona. Me and PJ are going to go back home for a little bit. I have a conference that I have to go to in Orlando, and I recommend everyone to go. It's a Rebel Capitalist Live. I'll be there. I'd love to hang out with anyone. I get nothing out of it. Just going to be with a lot of cool people. If a lot of people do want to go, that would be fun. But then I'm thinking mid-June, go down to Colombia. Gonna go down with the new team. I think everyone would be pretty fired up for that. And we would do some really cool things. I think we'd really expand. I'd love it if we could take on a lot of clients. They could do a lot of things. Everyone would be able to make a ton of money. And that's really the thing. I see a lot of people be super greedy. And I see zero reason to be greedy. And a part of that is because there's almost no difference between, like, once you start to making a decent amount of money, more money is not really going to solve more problems. I want to grow something that has a lot of intrinsic value that I don't have to be involved in. And so if you incentivize people and you pay people a huge incentive-based program, everyone wants to work hard. And I'm seeing that right now. And so I'd love to be able to get the team a lot of income, especially if we're having faith in what we're doing and working really hard. That would be awesome. Just having the whole gang really just come up. It's really, really just, it's surreal with how things are moving along, which I think is why I'm fucking finding reasons in my head to like fuck it up, because I'm scared with how good things are going right now. It was so easy for me to take unlimited risk and to do things that were perceived as crazy when I was making no money because I had no downside. Now I live such a awesome life that I have a lot of downside if I take a huge risk and lose everything. And I don't want to fucking lose everything. And so we're not going to. Just going to make sure that we're doing the right thing. But there's a lot of external risk with a lot of people are very concerned about the economy right now. We're working with a lot of recession hedged businesses, which is really, really good and something that I've actually thought out and planned a few years ago because I had some concerns. And especially with the sponsors that we're getting right now, I'm actually looking for companies that benefit from a recession. And the reason for that is they're going to benefit, obviously. And so if the economy does slow down, we actually have a diversified income stream from that. So that would actually be huge. And so I'm also trying to lock in long-term deals, and I'm okay if it's at a lower rate than we could get instead of trying to squeeze out the primo dollar, get more security. Because if I had a big security net of sponsors for, let's say, 6 to 12 months for all of our deals for all of my clients, that would give a lot of security. And so that would be pretty good. But anyway, just fucking business gets way more fun the bigger you get. I mean, well, I guess until you get too big, then it's no longer fun, but I'm not too big. We're still like the smallest micro company in the entire world, but it's moving around. And so just having fun day in, day out.